All right, we are back with the Screen Team. It's our 300th show, and this is the final segment of the show. Thank you so much for listening to the Screen Team. We appreciate all the Screen Teamers out there for supporting the show and listening to all of our movie reviews. And what we've got for you right now is our final segment of the show. We've got Stacy on. Stacy, happy 300th show to you.
Happy 300.
Man, it's so good to see you. And we're getting ready to do a movie which is considered by many critics as the greatest comedy of all time. I don't know if you're going to agree with that, but we'll move on. We'll move on. By the look on your face, you're probably not so much. But we're talking about Some Like It Hot. The movie stars Jack Lemmon. It also stars Marilyn Monroe and Tony Curtis.
Yep.
And the basic premise is we got Jack Lemmon, Tony Curtis. They are musicians, and they witness basically a mob hit in Chicago.
And the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yes, very, very bad. Very, they could lose their lives over this kind of thing. So they ditch it as fast as they can, and they're looking for an opportunity to get out of town, and they find an opportunity to work with a traveling all-girls musician jazz group or whatever. Yeah. So they decide to take it, but they're boys. So how do they get on it? Because they're looking for females. Mm-hmm. It's an all-female group. They decide to dress up as female musicians.
Geraldine and Josephine, or Daphne.
I've always wanted to be called Daphne. So I've seen this movie a million, zillion, trillion times. I love this movie. I think this is your first time seeing it, correct?
It's my first time to watch it all the way through.
Okay. So you had an idea of what the movie was about. You got to see it all the way through. What were your initial thoughts of the movie?
Well, I guess comedy is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, man, come on.
Because while it had some good funny spots in it, I don't know that it's one of the top comedic movies of all time. Truthfully, I'm sorry.
It's so good, man. It's
it wasn't
so
a bad movie, but I don't know that it's.
You didn't laugh at all? You didn't laugh?
I did. There was some spots that were kind of funny. You know, I mean, when the two guys were running in the high heels, I was cracking up by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was okay. I like the cinematography of it.
What about?
I like their outfits.
What about when Tony Curtis does the whole Cary Grant impression?
Yeah.
Oh man. Come on. All right, so
I know Chris, we had such a good run of agreeing on movies, and now we've hit the skids.
There was Robin Hood and Robin Hood, but not Some Like It Hot, man.
I did like Marilyn Monroe in this movie because she kind of put it out there that she's a dumb blonde. Yeah. She sort of played that character. She owned it.
She played it really good.
Yeah, I mean, she did a great job dancing and singing and, all that stuff. And I liked her part. And I liked the action part at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you didn't dig them dressing up as girls and all that comedy.
Well, I understood why they did it. It made sense. But
the fact that Jack Lemmon's trying to score with all the girls on the train and
that little bunk party that they
I've
had.
got a surprise for you. Oh, I've got a surprise for you too.
The little bunk party they had where there's 27 of them in that little bed thing, and nobody woke up to that.
I know, right?
Hello, what were they taking? But I did read that they had someone come in to try to teach Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon how to walk it like a woman in high heels.
Right.
And Jack Lemmon said, I don't want to walk like a woman in high heels. I want to walk like a man trying to walk like a woman in high heels.
Right.
So they kind of took it pretty serious what they were doing and wanted it to be authentic, I guess. What a man in high heels would. I was impressed that they could run in them.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to hit on Marilyn Monroe. I mean, you hit it on it earlier that you appreciated her role in this film. I think it was amazing. You read a lot of history behind this film, and Marilyn Monroe was kind of a diva, to say the least, with this film. She didn't get to set on time. She didn't know her lines. They had to tape lines on different places so she could see them, kind of thing. So she didn't have the best work ethic with this particular film, but she was really, really good. There's this one part in the film where I thought she was awesome. Sabrina would knows the part I'm talking about. It's the part where Tony Curtis is doing his Cary Grant impression, and he's trying to put the moves on Marilyn Monroe, and he's like, "Oh, my family is such a big deal," and he's got these shells, and he's trying to describe what his family does, and he's like, "We named the oil company after it," and she's like, "Shell oil?" Like, that part to me is like, oh, that was so well done, man. And yeah, she's playing the bimbo. Yeah, she's playing the ditz or whatever. But she played it so convincingly, and she had such vulnerability. I can't even say that. She had such weight to her character.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people overlook her, and I thought she did a really, really great job with this film.
I liked how she interacted with Josephine and Daphne.
Yeah.
Because they were like, you could clearly tell that there was the way Josephine and Daphne portrayed themselves. They were kind of older,
right?
And Marilyn is kind of younger, but she kind of gravitated. They just sort of had this really good friendship, and she didn't really seem to care when the gig was up at the end, but she didn't get like all girls these days would be like, "Oh, you deceived me. This is never going to work. We can never be friends." And then there would be a cat fight in a reality show and be on Maury, and it would just be terrible. But she was just kind of like, "I don't care,"
You can't tell me that you didn't laugh at one of the best last lines ever in a movie.
When he said nobody's perfect. Yeah.
That was awesome, man.
That was good. I'm not saying I didn't laugh.
You know what, Stacey?
But I have seen movies that made me laugh harder.
I think just give it time, okay? Revisit this movie maybe in a couple years. Revisit it, and I think you're going to appreciate the awesomeness that is Some Like It Hot.
Well, I'll tell you this, and you can write this down. If the movies they're making today don't get any better, I will gladly go back and revisit that movie.
That's good enough for me. Stacey, thank you for being on the show.
You're welcome.
It's our 300th show, and once again, I want to thank all of you, all the Screen Teamers who have listened to all 300 shows, and we appreciate you guys. Thank you to all the Screen Teamers who have reviewed all the shows with us. My goodness, we've got over 20 of them to name, so if you want to get a closer look at all of our Screen Teamers, go to screenteampb.com. Coming up next, I guess we've got the next 300 shows, hopefully. Cross your fingers, man. For more Screen Team, check us out online and also check us out right here on KWOC. And remember, we want you to know before you go.